वासुदेवा जगन्मोहन राधा रमणा वनमाली वासुदेवा जगन्मोहन राधा रमणा वनमाली वासुदेवा जगन्मोहन राधा रमणा वनमाली जगन्मोहन राधा रमणा शशिवदना सरसि जनयना 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 जगन्मोहन राधा रमणा वनमाली वासुदेवा जगन्मोहन राधा रमणा माली वासुदेवा जगन्मोहन राधा रमणा शशिवदना सरसि जनयना 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 जगन्मोहन जनयना जगन्मोहन राधारमणा शशिवदना सरसि जनयना जगन्मोहन राधारमणा शशिवदना सरसि जनयना जगन्मोहन राधारमणा शशिवदना सरसि जनयना जगन्मोहन राधारमणा 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 वनमाली वासुदेव जगन्मोहन राधारमणा Namaskaram to everyone present here. My name is Yogeshri and I have with me Aradhana on the violin. Today we'll be making a very humble attempt to present a few snippets of the Krishna leela, as covering the Krishna leela is an ocean, and today we will be just taking a few droplets like a prokshanam, just to imbibe in the hopes of imbibing some of his qualities. Now Krishna, as we all know, is an avataram of the supreme being Sriman Narayana. Now these incarnations, all the lords, whether it's Shiva, Narayana, Devi, Parvati, or the Lakshmi Devi, different gods incarnated on earth for one main purpose: to alleviate the sufferings of all beings on earth. Most importantly, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, I'm sure all of you would have heard Bhagavad Gita, right? So Bhagavad Gita, he says, Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Every yuga, every Kali Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga, Krita Yuga, every yuga, cycle of time, I will incarnate in order to Dharma samsthapa, for the protection of Dharma, to establish Dharma, to maintain moral efficacy, to bring peace and harmony in the world. Now Krishna Leela is the story of Krishna, the avataram or the incarnation as we call it. Krishna Leela documents the transcendental pastimes of Krishna. So these pastimes are recorded in many Puranas. Today we'll be using Srimad Bhagavatam, that's penned by Sri Vedavyasa, as a reference, along with so many noted sages, composers, saints who have composed so many shlokas, songs, and so many more such references. Apart from that, these scriptures, all of these are regarded as scriptures for us. We also have the Mahabharatam, the Ramayanam, the Vedas, Puranas, and Upanishads. Now these stories, all of these stories that we have of the incarnations are not merely just stories, for fun and frolic. That is a part of it. But there is a lot of deep philosophical, spiritual knowledge that one can gain. Even materialistic bliss one can gain from all of this. So our scriptures or stories related to scriptures are not mythology, because mythology is derived from the word myth, which means false. So you can't say that these scriptures are false. So you should say they are history. They are a part of us. So we learn from it, we derive from it, and we shape up our lives according to that. So today we'll be looking at Krishna Leela. Now why are we looking at Krishna Leela? In fact, if you've all heard, Krishna is Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. He is the Jagat Guru. It is said he is the Guru, the teacher of the entire universe. Why is that so? In all his Leelas, one is to Arjuna and Uddhava, he teaches yoga. Therefore he is a yoga guru. He is also the Jnana Guru because he teaches the Bhagavad Gita. So he teaches all such knowledge to us. In fact, in one of the chapters in Bhagavatam, it is said Krishna would wake up every day and meditate. So he also follows the principles that he preaches. So that's why he is a guru. A guru is someone who will follow what he says. And that's why he's entitled to be a Jagat Guru. So there are many such teachings of Krishna, and not only that, he also is a connoisseur of 64 art forms: music, dance, singing, flute, rangoli, drawing, tattoo, submarine making, everything. Listing 64 arts can be for Harikatha for another day. But he is a connoisseur of 64 arts. So all of us who want to learn all different art forms, we can learn from Krishna Avataram. So Krishna's life is an exemplary life. It's a life of example. Now, another secret that everyone says is, Krishna is not a mere boy who's running around doing mischief. There is a lot of tattvam behind that. Brahma, in fact, says Krishna is Purna Brahma Sanatanam. Brahmam means supreme being, that whom we cannot understand. But for our sake, he incarnates as a little boy doing mischief so that we can conceive his unconceivable powers and inconceivable, countless powers that he has. Sadashiva Brahmendra in his Kriti, Manasa Sancharare Brahmani Manasa Sancharare Madashiki Pinja Alankrita Chikore. He says, don't be fooled by that little boy who has curly black hair with a beautiful mailpili or a peacock feather on his head. He is, after all, Brahmani Manasa Sancharare. He's the Parabrahman, he's the supreme being. And that is the Tattvam, that is the Saram, that is the essence of Krishna Avatar. So Krishna, through his stories, tells us and explains all of this. So Krishna, as we all know, is born to Devaki and Vasudeva. He was born on Avani Masam, that is the month of Hindu calendar, the Avani month of Hindu calendar, and Rohini Nakshatra. But he was born in the jail because Kamsa, his own uncle, had jailed his parents, as a prophecy had mentioned that Devaki's 8th born child would be his death, and Krishna was indeed the 8th born child. So he jailed them up. When Krishna was born, Kamsa did not have a clue because he is the Brahman. He was transferred to Gokulam, a nearby village, and he was adopted by Nanda Baba and Yashoda Devi, who are the chieftains of that village, as their own child. So this has happened in one of those nights, and Kamsa was unaware. He went berserk knowing the fact that Krishna had escaped his eyesight and that he couldn't kill Krishna before he was born or immediately as soon he was born. So he called a meeting with all his cabinet ministers. He was the king, right? But remember, he was a corrupt king. He was an adharmic ruler. So he called all his cabinet ministers. So if he were adharmic, you can imagine how his cabinet would be. All demons, all having no quality of leadership, everyone sitting and doing nothing about what is troubling Mathura or anything. They were just sitting there. So he called all the cabinet ministers. I want all of you, one of you to go kill all the babies that were born tonight. Can you imagine the cruelty of Kamsa, that he wanted to kill little babies? Then we won't have, if he killed all babies, we won't have little children like you, right? So he was going to kill all babies. So imagine, all the mothers were afraid. So one demoness, her name was Putana. She says, okay, Kamsa, I will do this job for you. So cruel she must have been, right? That she wanted to go kill all babies. She says, I will do it. He says, okay. He trusted her. So Putana, a demoness, she goes around killing all babies in Mathura. Finally, she reaches Gokulam, where Krishna is born. Somehow, when she reached Gokulam, her tactic changed. She was going on killing all babies in one. She was like a slaughterhouse, right? But when she reached Gokulam, we don't know what went into her. She thought, I am going to change my form. She was a Kechari. So a Kechari is someone who has mystic powers to change their form. They're shapeshifters. They can change their form however they want. So she changed herself into a beautiful young woman with beautiful jasmine flowers in her hair, with beautiful adorned with wonderful precious stoned necklace, earrings, bangles, beautiful silk sari like all of us are wearing, with odyanam, waistband, with payal, anklets, and she dressed up beautifully. In fact, in the Bhagavatam, there is a separate paragraph explaining how she was dressed. Can you imagine? Like Rukmini was dressed this way, Lakshmi was dressed this way, Saraswati was dressed this way. For one Putana, the Bhagavatam describes how beautifully she was dressed. So that is why we are explaining how, because something changed her, right? Something, that means the presence of the divine changed her thought. So okay, she dressed herself up. Now Gokulam was a village. Imagine when a child is born, when a baby is born, all of us will go play with the baby, right? All of you kids, when babies are born, you'll go play. Oh, such cute fingers Krishna had. Such dimpled, pudgy fingers. He had a pudgy tummy. They were going and touching the tummy. He had beautiful feet. Imagine baby feet. This small feet which was filled with red mehendi, like that. And then they were pinching his cheeks, poor baby cheeks. He was chubby cheeks. They were pinching his cheeks. Like that, they were pinching the baby cheeks. He had red lips, bright red lips, like a pomegranate. You see the redness of a pomegranate? He had bright red lips. They were going on doing this to his lips. And then he would open his eyes, close his eyes, and they would tickle him. They would hold his hair and stroke his hair. He had black curly hair with a mild peely. He was beautifully dressed. So they were observing all the gopis, all the villagers were observing, and then they were rocking the cradle, observing his beauty and having fun. So Yashoda Ma also trusted everybody. Since it was a village, they had a common sense of trust amongst each other. They would be like a family. So they were all playing. Then the Putana arrives as a beautiful lady. In this, she had a lotus flower in the hand. So she was walking around like this, and she comes. Then all the gopis were talking to each other. Who is this beautiful lady? Maybe she's a celestial being. She's emanating such aura. She looks beautiful. Another one says, no, I think she is Lakshmi. Why? No, she has a lotus flower in her hand. No, I think she is Devi Lakshmi. The other lady says, Chumma, like as if you saw Devi Lakshmi, and Devi Lakshmi has come to Gokulam to come and see us. And then one more lady says, maybe she is a princess, maybe she is a queen who has come from a nearby kingdom to bless our baby Krishna. Because when a newborn baby is born, or a baby is born, so all the elders would come and bless the baby, right? So they thought maybe she has come to bless the baby. Little did they know Putana's intentions. So Putana comes, and all these gopis, including Yashoda Ma, they were so innocent. They give the baby, like that only, they give the baby to Putana, and they go inside to prepare some, because the guest, Atiti Devo Bhava, guest has arrived. So we have to prepare something for the guest. So they go to prepare some prasadam. Now Putana, she was dressed mystically. She wanted, as though she was going to play with the child, she takes the baby onto the lap. Vibudyatam balakamarikagraham charatmasa nimirite kshana anantamaropayadangamantakam yathoragam suttama buddhirajyudi This shloka is taken from the Bhagavatam. So as soon as Putana takes the baby Krishna onto her lap, Krishna immediately closes his eyes. Nimilite kshanaha. Why did Krishna close his eyes? There are many interpretations by many different sages and saints. Alvar say she came as a Veshadhari. She came as someone. She pretended to be someone who she was not. So she was a Veshadhari. Krishna does not like pretentious people. So he closed his eyes. Moreover, one more explanation is she disguised herself to be a mother. She wanted to give milk to Krishna and kill him because she had smeared her milk with poison. So she came to feed a baby like a mother. Can you imagine any mother to kill a child, whether it is her child or any other child? They wouldn't, right? So mother is an epitome of ultimate affection. That is why even when we said Atiti Devo Bhava, we say first Matru Devo Bhava. Mata is equivalent to a god. So if Mata is equivalent to God, this Putana pretended to be someone else. So Krishna closed his eyes. Another reason could have been if Krishna had opened his eyes and caused a ruckus crying, then Putana may have thought, okay, this is not the right time to do the job. I will leave Krishna and come back later. He did not want to, waste any time with all these demons one by one. He had to kill and keep going on with his leela. So, one more reason could be, when all of us, when we were kids, all of you kids, if you're given something very bitter, what will you do? Your parents will say, close your eyes and drink. You will not know how bitter it is. So Krishna knew poison is going to get into his body. So he closed his eyes. So as soon as Krishna closed his eyes, as though afraid, Putana thought he was afraid. So Putana took Krishna on the lap and she begins feeding milk to baby Krishna. At that time, Krishna is Brahman, right? Krishna is a supreme being. He begins to suck the milk and suck the life out of her. Slowly, he begins sucking the life out of her. She starts getting a lot of pain. Sa muncha. She says, leave me, Krishna, leave me. It's paining for me. She's screaming in pain. But Krishna did not stop. Ultimately, he sucked the entire life out of her. And finally, she lay dead in her original beastly form. It was like a huge mountain laying dead. Listening to all the noise and ruckus, all the gopis come out to see baby Krishna is playing on top of mountain Putana. He's playing on top of Putana like that, and Putana in her original form lay dead over there. They did not know what to do. They were scared for Krishna. There is a secret here. Even though Putana was a demon, all the poets, all our composers say, Putana received moksham or salvation or ultimate spiritual bliss. Even though she was a demon, that is because Krishna touched her. Just by Krishna's touch, she achieved moksham, the ultimate prize of life. Putanadi samharam purushottamavataram. Putanadi samharam purushottamavataram. Shitala hridaya viharam Shri Rukmini dharam. Shitala hridaya viharam composed by Dikshitar. He says, Putanadi Samhara. He provides moksham like this, just like that. So imagine if we go, we are not demons, right? So when we go and just say Krishna, 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 he will just give us moksham like this. He will give spiritual bliss like this, because he has this divine attribute, this guna called Saulabhyam, which means he will easily give whatever we want, whatever we ask for, including the great prize of salvation. So in this way, all the gopis, when they saw that Krishna, poor baby Krishna, so mothers, when they see that a danger was so close to a baby, what they would do, they would immediately, there's a thing where they would take drishti, all negative influence, we should remove all the negative influence from the baby. So they start doing all this to baby Krishna. They give him a nice bath. So Yashoda then gives him a nice bath. This is like on a day-to-day basis, he gets a very nice bath. Otherwise, where if he's sitting in Kshirabdi on Adishesha, he's in yogic slumber. Yogic slumber is not sleep. Yogic slumber is neither sleep nor awake. It is it's a state of mind. So he's always in yogic slumber. He doesn't have any comfort that any of us have. But in Krishna Avataram, he wanted that comfort. So he had Yashoda Mata who's giving him all the comfort. Illata, we will be doing Abhishekam after Abhishekam after Abhishekam. And then we will do everything. Okay, give us this. Ding, 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 ding. We will be doing everything. So we don't see him as a baby, right? We don't see him as a child. But Mother Yashoda saw him as a child because of her Matra Lalana, because of her Vatsalya Bhavam, motherly affection. She puts him, when he was 3 months old, she puts him, in those days, they would give babies a bath, extend the legs. She put him upside down like this, and then she was singing, Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Shri Rama Jaya Rama. So look at this, look at the situation here. She is singing Shri Rama Jaya Rama to Krishna when he was taking a bath. So that is the beauty of the avataram. So she gives him a nice bath. First oil massage. We take nice nalla, I don't know what it's called in English, but sesame oil. Sesame oil. Heat up the sesame oil nicely. Give him a nice massage, nice polish. All feet, we said no, all gopis and all were playing with feet, pinching cheeks and everything. So now we have to keep it supple. So give him nice bath, nice fingers, alla malish panni. Feet ella malish panni, massage his feet, his toppa, his pudgy tummy, like that. Nicely malish. He was drenched in oil, nicely head massage. He was feeling sleepy. When parents give you a head massage or give you a nice bath, you'll feel sleepy, Even adults feel sleepy. Someone will give them a bath. So even we'll feel sleepy. So she give him the nice, warm, lukewarm water she pours, gives him a bath. And then she does all dhupam she shows. In those days, no hair dryer and all. Dryer was dhupam. So we'll show dhupam and nicely it will dry the hair. And then Krishna is now feeling sleepy. Finally, this is the real sleep, not yogic slumber. So this is the sleep. So he sleeps slowly, he begins to sleep. So Krishna is sleeping. Yashoda thinks Krishna is sleeping. Sari, we will leave him in his cradle below a huge cart. There was a huge cart. We will leave him below the cradle. And I will go do my chores. So she leaves him and she goes to do her chores. Then at that time, slowly Krishna wakes up. And then he begins to start kicking his legs very violently. Like he begins to, and he starts creating a huge ruckus. He immediately begins kicking the cart also with a loud noise. Pondrachagadam mudaitai Andri ulagam nadandai adipuri Andri ulagam nadandai adipuri Chendringu tennilangai setrai tiral potri Chendringu tennilangai setrai tiral potri Pondrachagadam session of Andal. In fact, we are starting the Margazhi or Dhanur Masam soon, where she does a vratam for Krishna. In this, she says, Pondrachagadam Udaitai. So there was a reason why Krishna was kicking. Now, Kamsa did not give up. Don't forget, Kamsa is still there, the character, who did not give up after Putana was vanquished, yet he kept sending demons. Now, this time his name was Shakatasuran. He went and manifested himself into that cart, thinking when Krishna is asleep, he'll go and fall onto him in the form of a cart, break down on him, and he would die. No, there's absolutely no usage of the mind by the demons or Kamsa. So he goes and then he wants to do this act, but Krishna is of course Brahman, and this is not a new thing for him. Every time one demon is coming after him, all his work was to go and vanquish demon. So Krishna then immediately begins kicking, and then he destroys the cart. Udane, all the boys playing around the cart go and tell Yashodama this has happened. Then again she comes running to see what is this full ruckus, but they did not know it was a demon this time around. So it was like without anyone's knowledge, he performs this task. Again she takes him on the lap, hugs him, caresses him, and says, oh, she was assuming that he felt scared because the cart broke down. So she again pacifies him, and then she again puts him back to sleep. So in this way, Krishna performed many such leelas. These were a snippet of some of his Bala leelas. Because of the advent of so many demons all the time, they thought they will change their location to Vrindavanam. Another nearby, if you all go, even it's there today, Uttar Pradesh. So it's a beautiful spot with beautiful green trees. It's a forest. Vrindavanam means forest. So they thought they will go and reside in Vrindavanam to protect Krishna from all these demons. So Krishna was a few more years old. He was now a little grown up. So he was there 4 or 5 years old. So they all go to Vrindavanam. There also, one day, they're all cowherd family. So as a family of cowherds, they would go milk cows, graze cows, and then milk the cows, milk products. They would obtain milk products, and that was their livelihood. They would sell all the milk products. So they were the Yadava Kulas, the Kula or the family of the Yadava. They were the Yadava clan. So one day, Krishna and his friends went to play in the forest. So this time they decided to play hide and seek. So Krishna was the one who was going to seek, and his friends were going to hide. So what did they think? They made Krishna go and stand in front of a tree and close his eyes. So he would count numbers. In those days we used to say one song, Kanna Muchi Re Re Re, Katta Muchi Re Re Re. So in all of your local dialects, I'm sure there is a song you will sing which is endless, so that they have enough time to go and hide. So he's counting numbers 1, 2, 3. And then all these kids want to go and hide in a spot that Krishna cannot find. That is impossible, but that is what they thought. So they went. They found this huge mountain, huge cave. One of the boys said, this is a nice hiding spot. Let us hide inside this cave. Then one boy is like, yo, this cave looks so scary. When did this cave come? I have never seen this cave so far. Then one other boy says, this cave was always here. How is it possible the cave is there one day, the cave is not there the another day? This cave was always there. We have not come near this cave. Another boy says, no, it is possible. Because you remember Hanuman? Hanuman brought one huge mountain Sanjeevani from Himalayas in one day. He brought Himalayas to the south. Sanjeevani to the south. So if that is possible, this cave has come today only, says one boy. So all these kids were arguing. Finally they decide to go, okay, explore. And because one child says, okay, even if something happens, Krishna is there to take care of us. That was their level of devotion, level of bhakti. So they get in. As soon as they get in, they see two huge rocks. One says, oh my God, this looks like a fang. I don't think these are rocks. Why do they look like a sharp fang? The other kid says, no, it is the rock. And then he starts explaining some geology, geography, how rocks will form and how it is embedded and everything was happening. Then, no, this is something weird. It's okay, we will go and explore somehow. They go in further. They go inside further. They can feel that the cave is alive. They could feel a whiff of hot air blowing in and out. They could feel that the walls were floating in and out like this. They were very scared. Then they were walking and then it felt very slippery, as though it was a tongue. They felt very slippery. Oh, Pambada, Pamba. I think it is a snake. It is a snake for sure. Indeed, it was a python, Aghasuran, an Asuran, who was the brother of Putana and Bakasuran, manifested himself as a python to kill Krishna. So all of these kids go in. Meanwhile, Krishna is searching all the children, and through his yogic meditation, he gets to know that these children are here, and then he immediately comes to the cave. Aghasuran's plan was to use the children as a bait and then capture Krishna and then eat him up, gobble him up. So Krishna enters Aghasura, and Aghasura, okay, immediately he closed his mouth. But then Krishna is who? Brahman. So he had all siddhis, Arima, Garima, Lagima, and he had so many powers. One of the powers was expanding. Remember how Hanuman expanded himself to cross ocean? Like that, Krishna began to expand his body, so much so that he tore open the skin of the python and came out from top. And that's how he rescued his friends and again killed yet another demon. So, like this, he killed Trinavartasuran, Bakasuran, Dhenukasuran, Keshi, Pralambasuran, so many such asuras came. In the meantime, there are other transcendental pastimes also. For example, Kalinga Nartana, he performs a beautiful transcendental dance on top of 1,000-hooded serpent. Or the swallowing of the forest fire, the Brahma Mohana Leela. Like this, there are many such Leelas. So, one day, what happened? The entire Gokulam. We will look at one more Leela which is not Asuravadam for a change. Okay. Where there's no killing and all. Let us look at some other beautiful Leela of Krishna. So one day, Krishna, there was a huge festival in Vrindavanam. Everybody was gearing up, buying beautiful clothes, new clothes for the festival, beautiful colored pavadais, greens, pinks, orange, blue, yellow, peach, so many other blues I see. So all of you are wearing beautiful clothes, right? Like that. They went to purchase. Then there was a huge, like they were starting to make prasadam. There was huge, lots and lots of prasadams. There was puri, there was chole, there was bature, there was curd rice, there was puliodare, there was mixed rice, vegetable rice, then there was roti, there was paneer, there was mixed veg curries, then there was dal tadka, there was dal makhni, then there was dosa, idli, vada, sambar, then there was rice, rasam, then in sweet category there was a paisam, then there was a badusha, Mysore pak, cake, pastry, then in bhakshanams there was muruk, there was madangumbu, there are so many tattas, these flat discs, popcorn, all sorts of delicacies were being prepared. Krishna did not know what was happening. This time he's now 7 years old, okay? So he goes running to his father. Baba, what is happening? What are we gearing up for? What? Today is not Margazhi, today is not Chaitra Masam, today is not Krishna Janmashtami, today is not Ramanavami. What are we doing? So then Nanda Baba says, Kanaiya. So they used to call him Kanaiya, right? We all have pet names. So Krishna had many, Kana, Kanaiya, Kanna, so many. So Kanaiya, you know Lord Indra, he's the god of rain. He gives us rain. And because of that rain that he gives us, our crops, we are able to harvest our crops and we are sustainable. We are getting food, fodder for everyone. So as a thank you, we are doing Indra Puja, he says. Krishna then asks, why to Lord Indra? See how Krishna, he didn't have to be 60 odd years to tell Bhagavad Gita. Now only he started telling Gita, Upadesham. He gave Upadesham. Karma is the result of one's action in life. It is karma that determines our life and life actions. So, why should we, celebrate Indra and thank Indra? In fact, it is the forest, it is the mountains. Because of afforestation, we are having enough rain. We are having enough crops. The mountain, the Govardhana hill provides us with all that we need for the cows, beautiful pasture lands for the cows to graze, and therefore we are able to, sustain our livelihood. So if that is the case, why should we do puja for Indra? We should do puja for the forest, we should do puja for Govardhana. He says, and everyone also agreed. Nanda Baba explains this to the panchayat heads, all the village town council. He also had a cabinet minister, but they were all great ministers. So he also spoke to everyone. Everyone said, okay, we will all now go to Govardhana hill. So if you all go, it is a Govardhana Parikrama, it is called, where they would, just now after Deepavali, they celebrate the Govardhana Parikrama, where they have many such dishes that are being prepared and served as Naivedyam, as Prasadam to the Govardhana hill. So they all started their journey. Now in the heavens, a messenger comes to Indra. Indra gets to know that the puja that was meant for him was disrupted. That too by who? By one 7-year-old boy. He had such a false pride, so much so that he thought he was the supreme master. He was angered by this news. Apriya, these mere villagers are listening to one boy who is nothing. Chumma Vayadi boy. He keeps talking so much to this boy they're listening to. I will show them what the real power is. And then he sends the Samvartaka Meghas, which are the clouds, rain-bearing clouds that are to be sent during Pralayam, that is the end of the world. So imagine how much of a downpour he was going to send to a small village in Vrindavan. So immediately, Ghana Ghaneti freezing rain, there was a hailstorm, there was thunderstorm, it was a ruckus in the village. The waters began to flood all the houses. Cows were drowning, they would go screaming and drowning and floating. The villagers did not know what to do, for they had only one refuge. And what do? Govindam Sharanam They go running to Govinda. Govinda, help us. We come to your refuge, protect us. So Krishna is the protector of everyone. He goes running towards the Jal, he goes running. A 7-year-old boy. As though plucking a mushroom from the ground, he picks up the Govardhana hill with his little finger. Govardhana Giridhara. Govardhana Giridhara. Govinda Gokula Bala. chant the name of Giridhari. All of you can chant. Giridhara, 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 So this Kriti is composed by Narayana Tirtha, explaining how Krishna, for 7 whole days, you would have all seen the photograph. He stood with his little finger holding the Govardhana hill to protect all the inhabitants of Vrindavanam. Everybody, all 7 days, including all the cows, calves, everybody was secure. And finally, Indra came to know. After 7 days, he got to know, he understood that he is not the supreme master. He was falsely consumed by ego and pride. He comes after 7 days, seeks forgiveness from Krishna and seeks his blessings, and that's how the Govardhana Leela completes. It's a wonderful Leela. One person can tell a Govardhana Leela for 2 hours. So it's a beautiful Leela that we can learn a lot from. Maybe another time we can learn the philosophical depiction of this Leela. So as days passed by, finally, now we said we started with Kamsa, we have to end with Kamsa. So Kamsa now was getting impatient. Naradar, it is time up now, time to kill Kamsa. So the time has arrived. So Narada, sage Narada, you know, the one who says Narayana, 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 Narayana. He comes like this, Narayana, Narayana, Narayana to Kamsa, cha cha. Kamsa says, cha cha, what is this Narayana? He says, Kamsa says, what is it? Why have you come here? So says, Narada says, what are you doing? One after one, all these asuras, patu, and they are getting killed over there. What are you doing? When are you going to kill Krishna? So then you have to do something. Then Kamsa thought, okay, this time, instead of sending demons, let us call him here. Let us call him to Mathura. But who will bell the cat? Now if I send demon, he is going to kill, vanquish. Who will I send? There was one dharmic person in Kamsa's cabinet. Akrura was his name. So he decides to send Akrura, who was a Bhagavata, who used to chant like as Nama, Krishna Nama. So he decides to send Akrura, explaining that there is a yagam, there is a festival that we are going to conduct, and we want Krishna, Balarama and the boys to come and be a part of the festival. But this was a bait. For Kamsa's plan was, as soon as Krishna comes, we will unleash the beast Kuvalaya Pidam, and then it was a mighty elephant. We'll kill we'll kill Krishna. But if at all Krishna escapes, we will station wrestlers, mallas, like Mushtika and Chanura who will take care of the job. So finally we will put an end to this Krishna's chapter. That is what Kamsa thought. So immediately Akrura, when he got to know that he was the messenger, he was ecstatic. He was so happy. He thinks to himself, finally, all these years I've been living on sinful money that Kamsa has given. Finally, the day has arrived where surely say, I shall surely see the face of Mukunda finally with his beautiful curly hair. Kanjalochanam, Aruna Kanjalochanam, his beautiful compassionate filled eyes. Finally, I get to see Krishna. And finally Akrura comes to Vrindavanam, tells Krishna and Balarama everything in private. Krishna and Balarama then get ready to leave to Mathura. He doesn't tell anyone anything. He just tells Yashoda Ma, Maya, he's now 8 years old. Maya, we are going to Mathura because Mama Kamsa Mama has called us. So we have to represent as a part of Yadava Kula. So we have to go pack us some sweets. But Yashoda and all the villagers knew that this was the last they were going to see Krishna. They began crying. They began asking Krishna not to go. They began crying. Madhuban tum kyo rahat hare, Madhuban tum kyo rahat hare, Birah biyog sham sundar ke, Birah biyog sham sundar ke, stay with us forever. Do you have to leave? Why are you leaving us? This separation, we cannot bear this separation. This bhajan is composed by Surdas. So he says, don't worry. There's no separation between us. For I reside in all of you and you in me. So he pacifies them and all of them, Balarama, Krishna and a few of his friends all leave to Mathura. Finally, they reach Mathura. Just like how when we go to a new city, from a village to a new city, they would be so astounded by its beauty, like that all the boys were looking at the beautiful skyscrapers in Mathura, beautiful streets that were filled with rangolis, toranams and beautiful decorations. All the people in Mathura had heard that about Krishna's wonderful leelas. They had all, through Shravana Matrena, through listening only, they had developed a beautiful, a huge devotion, a deep affection towards Krishna. They all came out to see Krishna Mandirkana. Krishna has come, Balarama has come. They all go open the door to catch a glimpse of Krishna. Krishna, Balarama and all the boys walk through the streets. The boys ask Krishna, now we're going to that festival, we need new clothes, help us get some clothes. They stopped by at a weaver. The weaver whose happiness knew no bounds. All the threads he had, he began stitching. He began stitching different beautiful clothes for all these boys. Then next, they pit stopped, like how in a flea market we would pit stop at different spots and buy stuff, right? So in this way, all of them, they were pit stopping at different spots. And then they came to a flower shop. The garland maker was just absolutely ecstatic. All the flowers that he had, he immediately started making garlands then and there, and he showered all flowers on the boys, put the garlands on them, on all the boys. All flowers were full, complete with the garlands. Then they pit stopped at Kubja. Kubja was a lady who would make chandanam, that is sandalwood paste. So it's hard to make chandanam. You will have only one small round object, and then you would rub against it. So the friction and water will cause the paste to be formed, and you have to do a lot to get this much chandanam, this much sandal paste. It's a hard job. So she would make sandal paste every day, and that day she had the bhagyam, she had the opportunity to apply sandal paste on Krishna and all his friends. He blessed her as well. So like this, that day went by in roaming around Mathura. Next day was the day of the yagam. So Kamsa wants to be prim and proper on the day of the yagam. So he asks his guard, okay, get me my dress. No dress. Because all weaves are over, like the boys have taken, the tailor has stitched all the threads possible for Krishna's clothes. Okay, Sari, I'll wear old clothes. Give me flowers for decoration. No flowers. Mathura's flowers are all empty. No flowers available. Sorry. Okay, give me chandanam. No chandanam. Ayo, chandanam paste is over for the year. Our chandanam paste is over. We have used up. If we have to start making chandanam now, it will take some time. Sari, we did. So he was like, okay, fine, never mind. He then gets ready to go to the yagam. He decides to sit at the topmost structure. He locked himself up. He kept the key with him because he knew no one can reach this other than himself. Devaki and Vasudeva also knew that Krishna had come. They wanted a glimpse of Krishna. Bhayat Kamsa. Kamsa was so afraid that he did not let anyone in his chambers. So he just said, stand guard. Then finally the time arrived for Krishna and Balarama entering the arena. Manam Sita Samaravinda-lochana Pragalpa leela Hasitavalokai Dadaramattat Viradendra Vikramodrisham Dadat Shriman Manutsavam Mallana So when Krishna entered, the shlokam describes how different people, like all of us, would see Krishna. Some of us see Krishna as our friend. Some of us see Krishna as God. Some of us are scared of Krishna. Some of us love Krishna, right? So like that, in that arena, when Krishna came, so how did everyone react? How did everyone see? Manam Sita Samaravinda-lochana. To all the wrestlers, Mallana Mashanendranam. For the wrestlers who were present, he was like a lightning bolt. Strinam Smaromuktimane. For the women, he was a cupid. He was so good looking and so attractive for all the women. Then for Naraha, for all the men, he was the most man of all of them. So he was the one with the most chaste man possible. Mrityur Bhojapate. For Kamsa, he was Mrityu. He was death himself. So Krishna was. So Kamsa was scared. Bhojapate means the king of Bhoja. Then finally, Yogina. He was Tattvam Param. He was for all the yogis and for all the rishis who were there. He was the Tattvam Param. He was Tattvam. He was the Tattvam Param. He was the Brahman there. So that's how everybody viewed Krishna as he entered. Krishna entered majestically. Just like how in Ramavataram, during the Dhanur Yagam, during Sita Swayamvaram, Rama comes to break the bow, right? Like how he entered the arena, like that parallel in the Yugam. So he enters the Yugam in Dwapar Yugam, he enters the arena. Now that was the plan. At the gate, who was there? As soon as he entered the gate, Kuvalayapidam on elephant, the gatekeepers ushered Kuvalayapida, the mighty beastie elephant. And immediately, having sensed that ushering, Kuvalayapida goes berserk. So you can imagine a huge arena, everyone looking into the stadium like that. The mighty elephant then begins to chase Krishna. So there's a mighty battle, Krishna and the elephant. Now first the elephant attacks, then Krishna attacks. Finally Krishna catches hold of Kuvalayapidam's trunk. He lifts him up. What for him who lifted the Govardhana hill? So he lifts up Kuvalayapida by the trunk, swirls him around and pushes him out into nowhere, and Kuvalayapida thus completely was damaged, completely died because of the attack of Krishna. Then finally everyone began cheering. Woo! Everyone began cheering, for they wanted Krishna to win. Finally, with this was like usually you have like an entrance, you need to make an entrance, right? So Krishna made his grand entrance, and finally everyone started singing Swagatam Krishna. Swagatam Krishna, Sharanagatam Krishna, Iha Swagatam Krishna. Madhusudana. Mushtika Sura Malla Malla Visharada Madhusudana. Kalinganartana Gokula Rakshana Sakala Surakshana Deva Martana Kalinganartana Gokula Rakshana Sakala Surakshana Deva Krishna Janapara Sankalpa Kalpa Shatakoti Asama Prabhava Veeramani Jana Vivara Madana Sukara Nitya Samhara Deva Veeramani Jana Vivara Madana Sukara Nitya Samhara
He says Mushtika Sura Chadura Malla Malla Visharada Kuvalaya Pida. Starting with Kuvalaya Pida, Krishna destroys Kuvalaya Pida. Then the wrestlers, Malla, all the Chanura and Mushtika are no match to Krishna and Balarama. In a jiffy, he puts an end. Krishna and Balarama put an end to that. So, and finally, Krishna, then the time has arrived. He looks up. Kamsa is passing comments after comments that he's going to kill Vasudeva, he's going to kill Devaki. Krishna's anger now knew no bounds. He goes up, just like how he climbed the Kadamba tree to save the kids from the Kalindi, from the Kaliya, this thousand-hooded snake. He climbs up. This was nothing for him. He climbs up and then he reaches Kamsa's chambers. He breaks down the lock. He pushes Kamsa onto the floor and finally also kills Kamsa. And that's how Krishna ends Kamsa's life. And finally then he goes to the jail, opens up, releases his parents, Devaki and Vasudeva, and including Ugrasena, who was the actual leader whom Kamsa had imprisoned. of Mathura. So he goes and liberates all of them. And after the Mathura Leela, Krishna then settles with Devaki and Vasudeva. He then goes to Sandipani Ashramam. You know, when you're born, even though he's Krishna Mande Jagat Guru, when you're born on earth, you need a guru. You need someone to teach you. So even though he was an all-knowing entity, but he still had to perform that act of going to a Gurukulam. He goes to the Guru Sandipani, he learns everything, and then so on, and then he marries Rukmini Devi, and then the Mahabharata proceeds, and so on. Krishna's Leelas are diverse, very interesting, and with a lot of philosophical meaning, and with a lot of information for all of us. So he's a wonderful friend, he's a wonderful husband, he's a wonderful child, he's a wonderful parent, he's a wonderful, guru. So he's everything that we can learn from. So indeed Krishna is Krishna Mande Jagat Guru, the Jagat Guru. With that we will end with a small bhajan. All of you can sing along. Hare Radha Kanta Shyamalanga Dwaraka Vasa Madhava Radha Kanta Shyamalanga Dwaraka Vasa Madhava Hare Radha Kanta Shyamalanga Dwaraka Vasa Madhava Radha Kanta Shyamalanga Dwaraka Vasa Madhava Kamsa Dhamsa Venuka Mardana Kalingana Jana Keshava Kamsa Dhamsa Hare Radha Kanta Shyamalanga Dwaraka Vasa Madhava Shankh Chakradhara Pitambara Dhara Garuda Vahana Murare Shankh Chakradhara Pitambara Dhara Garuda Vahana Murare Gokula Bala Nata Jana Lola Gopi Ramana Keshava Gokula Bala Nata Jana Lola Gopi Ramana Keshava Hare Radha Kanta Shyamalanga Dwaraka Vasa Madhava Hare Radha Kanta Shyamalanga Dwaraka Vasa Madhava Kamsa Dhamsa Venuka Mardana Kalinga Natana Keshava Kamsa Dhamsa Venuka Mardana Kalinga Natana Keshava Shankh Chakradhara Pitambara Dhara Garuda Vahana Murare Shankh Chakradhara Pitambara Dhara Garuda Vahana Murare Gokula Bala Nata Jana Lola Gopi Ramana Keshava Gokula Bala Nata Jana Lola Gopi Ramana Keshava Hare Radha Kanta Shyamalanga Radha Kanta Shyamalanga Radha Kanta Shyamalanga Dwaraka Vasa Madhava. I would like to thank Anu Aunty as well as Beena Aunty and Chinmaya Mission for providing us this wonderful opportunity to say a few words of the Lord, and we are entering into Margari Masam, the Dhanur Masam, and it is so auspicious, so thank you so much.